If you give me 15 minutes of your time, I will help you identify 5 common mistakes parents make in raising their children, and your kids will thank you 20 years from now. Parenthood encompasses the holistic care of a developing human being, ranging from their physical needs, their psychological needs, safety needs, social integration, amongst others, while navigating the transition from childhood to adolescence to adulthood, and it presents a lot of challenges. Despite the best intentions of caregivers, missteps can occur which leads to unintended outcomes. Today, we are going to be navigating 5 key areas to consider in nurturing our children's growth. You don't want to miss the third point because a lot of parents make mistakes in that area. Now, let's get straight into the video. Hello everyone, I'm excited to bring to you another episode of the First Flower Show where we delve into the intricacies of life, love, and family. Whether you're a new viewer or you are a returning friend, I appreciate your time and you are welcome to this channel. The first mistake that most parents make is to presume that all children thrive under an identical upbringing. What most parents do is to adopt a singular parenting method for all their children, irrespective of their age and personalities. That is, disregarding their distinct developmental phases and temperaments. For instance, let's take the use of the cane, which is a form of punishment in most African homes. Well, I believe in the saying, spare the rod and spoil the child. I believe that there must be consequences to our actions or inactions, alright? But there is a limit to using the cane. We do not have to use the cane on our children in such a way that they now feel like they are an enemy and we are just emotional. And one of the mistakes that most parents make is to still use the cane even when the child has gotten to the adolescent phase, because during that phase a lot of children are rebellious, especially when the cane is being used without any form of communication. Also, especially when an authoritarian parenting style is being used instead of an authoritative parenting style. What the latter does is that it shows empathy, you show understanding, you show concern to your kids, you relate to your child instead of like master servant. I say this, you do it, like kind of parenting, like that straight kind of parenting, which is the authoritarian parenting. So as children are growing, we have to drop off that notion that the cane will speak, and we have to communicate more often with our children. We have to relate with them, come to their level, understand them, be in their shoes, and also be vulnerable towards them. It's not about being laid back. We can still be assertive and firm, but we also have to show some form of empathy to our children. Also, most parents forget to tailor their parenting styles according to their children's temperaments. We can have choleric children, sanguine, phlegmatic, or melancholic, and each one has their own weaknesses as well as their strength. So knowing your child's temperament helps you to understand your child better. You'll be able to know why your child is behaving in certain ways, and then you can tailor their strengths and their weaknesses to suit their goals, their vision, so that they'll just become the best versions of themselves. Another mistake that parents make in raising their children is when, as parents, we try to live our lives through the lives of our kids. As parents, I know that we want the best for our children. We want them to have opportunities that we missed. But sometimes there is this blurry line where we tend to project our own desires onto them, which may be different from theirs. And also, we also tend to see them as an extended version of ourselves. We sometimes forget that our children also have their own values, they have their own unique path, they have their own destinies, they have their talents, their visions, their goals. So it is our role as parents to mold them, to know their strengths, to know their weaknesses, so that they'll become the best versions of themselves. YouTube analytics says that a majority of you are not subscribed to this channel. Can you do me a favor? I would like you to hit the red button on the right hand corner of your screen. Also, click on the like button so that this video will get to as many people as possible. Thank you. Right, Now, the third point that I want us to notice, because a lot of parents make mistakes in that area, and it is solely focusing on formal education. Although formal education is undeniably important, but there are certain life skills that has to be passed on from parents to their offspring or to their children, and it can only be done in the form of communication, in the informal way of education. Although some schools try to touch on these areas, however, a more detailed and effective learning in areas such as life skills, sex education, cultural values, and even finances are passed on from parents to their children in the family setting. It's in the home through daily interactions. Oh, get me this, get me that, do this for me, do that for me. And then we also instill some of these values onto our children. For instance, let's take domestic chores, house chores. I don't believe in it being a gender role, but I believe that it is a life-saving skill that every human being should have. We should all know how to clean, how to cook, how to organize our space. So even male children should be taught how to do this, because these are survival skills, and it's only in the home that we can learn these things. Most ladies actually learn this, but normally I realize that when it comes to the male gender, they're normally handicapped in that area, but it should not be so. Also, when it comes to sex education, a lot of parents are so embarrassed to talk about sex, not the act in itself, but just for your kids to be aware. You don't want to have naive children. You also want to protect them, but they should know about these things. So a little story time. I remember when I was in school during my primary and secondary school days, we had this beautiful headmistress. She was such a lovely lady, and there were times that she would just call us girls, primary school, JHS level. She called the ladies, and then we'll just stand in front of her office, and she will have this sex education with us. She will tell us how to protect ourselves from male predatory, how to avoid being abused or raped, how to focus, like we should focus on our education, and so much how to take care of ourselves. You know, it was such a beautiful and intimate moment. But during those times, our colleagues will be left in class doing whatever that they want to do. It was like free time for them. They could do whatever that they wanted to do at that time. And now I realize that this is an imbalance that has to be balanced. We should not forgo, we should not neglect our boys. We should also focus on them. As we are teaching the ladies how to protect themselves, we are teaching them how to serve men. We should also teach the boys how to protect themselves, because boys are also vulnerable to sexual abuse. It's not only girls, okay? And we also have to teach our boys how to be respectful adults, how to respect women, because a lot of men grow up from boyhood to adolescence to adulthood, and they don't know how to treat a woman. They have no respect for a woman. So we have to treat our boys, we have to show our boys, especially when they get to the stage of adolescence, how to treat a woman, so that they will grow up and be respectable people. The other aspect of informal education that a lot of parents miss is our culture. The easiest and most powerful way that children can connect with their heritage, with their roots, is through their language. But a lot of parents don't teach their children their language, especially when it comes to the African continent. They feel that it is not necessary because we have the English language. Great. However, there is this bond, there is this connection that just forms when people of similar background culturally come together at the workplace or even in a foreign place. There is this trust that is built automatically as a result of the shared language that they all share. Yeah, so let us not deprive our children of some of these advantages. I'm sure some of you have gone to foreign lands and you learned the language, you realize that when you learned the local language, the people, the locals, do not take advantage of you. They see you as their own. So why should we now deprive our own children from connecting with people of their locality through their language? Another aspect of the informal education that I want us to touch on is financial literacy. A lot of people grow or transition into adulthood without knowing certain basic financial literacy skills at hand. And we all know, as parents, we have gone through life, we have very good experiences, bad experiences about money that we can share with our kids. There are some investments, business deals, whatever that we have gotten, the knowledge we have gotten along the way of life, we need to open up and be vulnerable and share it with our kids. These are wisdom that they will not get anywhere else apart from home. So it is crucial to share this hard-won knowledge with our children. Let me know in the comment section which of these points have resonated with you. Share it with me. Do you know one common misconception that people have? That one can be a good parent while simultaneously treating their spouse wrongly. Now, this brings us to the fourth point, which a lot of parents miss. That is treating their spouses wrongly. I know some people will say, oh, my husband cheated, my wife cheated, but he's a bad husband, or she's a bad wife, but she's a good mother, or he's a good father. No, the two do not align. You cannot be a good father while you are a bad husband, or a good wife while you are a good mother while you are a bad wife. Because children do not learn by what they are told, but by what they see. So because parents are the first primary role model of our children, and so it's important that we lead by example. Whatever values that we want to see in our children, we must make sure that we are showing those values practically with our spouses and others. So for instance, an abusive parent will either make an abusive child or a people pleaser. You would either make a child that is also abusive, or somebody that will end up with an abuser, either become the victim or the abuser abuses themselves. So there's no way. We have to show our children how to treat other people through our marriage, our relationships, and all of that. Now, the last and final point that I want us to note, this is one of the points that a lot of parents miss, and it's comparing our children, whether among their siblings or with other people's children. So comparison is a thief of joy. However, in the lives of our children, or in the lives of children, comparison destroys their self-esteem. It destroys their self-confidence, and confidence is one of the most attractive traits in a person. So if we want our children to have a good sense of self, not that they'll be like egoistic, but have a good sense of self, then we need to make sure that we are not overcritical and we are very mindful of the way we view them with other people. We should not even compare our children. Children already struggle with self-consciousness when it comes to their body, their self-image, their intellect, and their weaknesses. And so it's like a slap in the face when parents who are supposed to at least see the little good in the child start comparing them, because there will always be somebody that is better than your child. So we have to rather look at the progress that they are making. Parenting is a struggle, and no one, absolutely no one, has it all figured out. But I hope that these few points of mine can help us navigate the journey. Share with me your experience as a child. Which of these mistakes have you experienced as a child, and what did you do to overcome these challenges? Also, what would you like to do differently now as a parent or in the future? Share with me your thoughts in the comments section. Thank you all for watching this video. I appreciate your time. I'm super exhausted because this has been a long video for me. However, I do appreciate that you tune in to watch this video. I'll see you all in my next video.